Welcome back to Tina's Test Kitchen. Today in the kitchen, I am making homemade chicken pot pies. Let's go over those list of ingredients. We have our pie crust, as well as our pie tins that I'm going to cook them in. We have some rotisserie chicken. This is just rotisserie chicken that I purchased from Sam's Club. I went ahead and took it all off of the bone, and then I used my food saver machine to seal this in the bag. I've gone ahead and laid out 3 packages. I'm going to be making 8. We are also going to be adding some chicken stovetop stuffing. We have, for our gravy mixture, we have some milk as well as some chicken stock. I have some corn as well as some shredded cheddar cheese and some potatoes. Let's get started. Okay, so I think I've told you guys before, I'm not really a baker too much. I don't usually do too much baking. So as far as like a rolling pin or like a little cutout thing, I just don't really have those. So I just work with what I have. I am going to use what I have available to go ahead and make my pie crust that I know will fit into my little pie pan. So I'm going to go ahead and roll out my pie dough. And again, I just buy these from my local grocery store. They're not super expensive. I think these were like $1.29. I'm going to use my KitchenAid bowl that I'm going to use to cut out the dough because, again, I don't really have like a dough cutter, so this is what I'm going to use. You just add some pressure, we'll go around a little bit, and then you have your perfect little pie dough. I'm going to do that again on the other side. And again, perfect little pie dough. So you guys, I am going to go ahead and make the dough a little bit thinner. Again, not using a rolling pin. I'm going to put it between a piece of parchment paper. I'm going to roll it over, and then I'm just going to work the dough out starting from the center. This is going to make the dough a little bit thinner. Doesn't have to be super thin, but I want it to be thinner than what it actually is. So I'm going to work on this until that's a little flatter. And I pre-bake mine, you guys, in the oven at 350 for around maybe 10 or 12 minutes. I, again, don't have the little balls that you put in the bottom of the pie dough to make sure that it doesn't bubble. But what I do is I will actually take a fork and puncture the pie dough all the way around on the inside of the pan. And that kind of prevents it from bubbling up in the center. So it serves the same purpose. Okay. Alright, so here is our dough. Again, it's a little thinner, so I'm going to go ahead and place it into my pie pan. I'm going to start in the center and again working my way out. I'm not going to put a pie crust on the top because when I layer my ingredients from the bottom going up, that's going to give me the top that I'm looking for. So we have it kind of placed in the bottom. Again, just going to use my fork. And I'm going to puncture some holes in the bottom so that the crust doesn't get too bubbly. Okay, so what you end with is a little pie dish that has all of the little holes that are cut out from the fork. And then I'm going to get these in the oven. And again, I have 8 of these to do. Okay, so here we have them. They're all finished. I'm going to go ahead at this point and get them in the oven. I'm making 8. So these are going to go in the oven at 350 for about 8 to 10 minutes. Okay, so we have our gravy that's all done. It didn't come out as thick as I wanted, you guys, but it is thick enough. Right now I'm just adding the rotisserie chicken to the gravy mix, making sure that there's no large clumps of chicken. And again, this is just the rotisserie chicken that they sell at Sam's Club. I'll typically buy like 6 or 7 of them and then break them down for different recipes such as this. I've done chicken enchiladas. It's you know, your options that you have when it comes to rotisserie chicken is pretty much endless. Okay. So now we're going to give this a stir. We're just waiting for our pie crust to finish in the oven. Okay, our potatoes are all done. I've gone ahead and used my hand mixer on these to make sure that we've gotten out the majority of the lumps. These, you guys, are going to go on the very top, and the cheese is going to be on top of that. These are going to be amazing. Okay, so our pie crusts are all done. As you can see, it did get a little bit golden brown, but you can still tell that it is a pie crust. It didn't puff up too much, which is exactly what we're looking for. So our next step is going to be layering our filling for our pot pie. I'm going to start with our chicken that has also our gravy with it. Going to make sure that you add a generous portion of chicken as well as the gravy. Next, I'm going to do my stuffing. I'm going to put a good layer of stuffing on for my next layer, making sure that you're spreading it around to cover all areas. Next, I'm going to go in with a scoop of corn. And then finally, we're going to add our potatoes and then do our cheese on the top. So here you have our homemade pot pie. So again, we've got the chicken on the bottom, you've got the stuffing, you've got the corn, the potatoes, as well as the cheddar cheese on the top. We have 7 more to go. All right, everyone, we do have the first 4 that just came out of the oven. They are completely cooked. So we have the nice golden brown crust. We've got the chicken in here. You guys, this smells amazing. I've made these several times before. I think what began my journey on making homemade pot pies was probably Thanksgiving dinner and having so much leftover food. I didn't know what to do with it. So I did go to Pinterest, and Pinterest had some great ideas, and this is one of the ones that I settled on. Over time, like most of my other recipes, I have tweaked that recipe to now do chicken. So you guys, this is going to be a great shareable pot pie. As you can see, it is rather large. So typically my husband and I will share one. If you guys have any questions at all, please hit me up in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way out, and please subscribe to my channel. Bye-bye. All right, you guys, the pot pies have had a chance to cool in the fridge for a few hours. So at this point, I'm going to use my food saver bags as well as my machine to go ahead and get them sealed up and ready for the freezer. So here's my food saver bag. This is going to be the quart size, so it is a little bit larger. I'm going to go ahead and slide the pot pie into the bag and then put it into the machine, and it will vacuum out all of the air. And when I seal it, it will take about maybe 10 or 15 seconds, and then it'll be all set. Okay, so here we have one pot pie that is all set to go for the freezer. You guys, these will keep in my freezer for up to a year in the food saver bags. When it comes to reheating, I'm just going to open the bag, heat it in my air fryer for about maybe 15 to 20 minutes. It'll get more golden brown on the top as well as the crust.